Hey guys, let's catch up. It's been one hell of a ride this past, I don't know how long it's been now, but it's been one hell of a ride. And things are about to get heavy, so just warning ya. Because my life has been kind of. It's been crazy. Like, not the good crazy, like the really bad crazy. Basically, it's come to a point where it's gotten so bad and crazy that I cannot seem to make or edit videos anymore. Like, my creativity is just gone to kaput, and I just get into these ruts really, really badly. And it's just a lot of life events have happened that is completely uncontrollable, completely up to the heavens. And it's it's something I gotta, like, I guess, talk about on this channel for a little, like, just for this video, I guess, to get you guys kind of like up to date, as well as for me to get it off my chest, to move on so that I could make these videos that I want to make, but I'm just like stuck. Just emotionally, creatively, just stuck. So let's get into it. So some of you may know pregnancy was kind of hard for me, and I just haven't been able to make a lot of videos. I did film, I just didn't have the capacity. Like, pregnancy brain hit me like a truck. It was really, really bad. I just didn't have the mental capacity to do much. And I did film, and I've been posting them. And I thought after the baby is born, I will kind of like spring back to who I was. Not necessarily like the way I looked, but I thought I was going to feel like myself again. I thought I was going to be able to do the things I used to be able to do. I thought I was going to be back to myself. No. It took so long to even get my mental capacity back because I was just so exhausted, and hormones are everywhere. Hormones are crazy. Hormones hit me on the emotional level, emotional and mental level, like a truck, basically, for lack of better phrases. And it was very, very difficult to communicate because my brain function just wasn't there. So I just haven't been able to make videos, like really film much, just because there was nothing coming out. I was feeling a lot of things, but it just wasn't able to come out as words. So my brain has been scrambled for months. I didn't know that this was a thing that happens during postpartum, essentially. Yeah, I was taken aback. It did hit me out of nowhere that I thought I was going to be back to normal, and that pregnancy was, the birth of a child was going to fix all the problems. But no, it just slowly continues on as your hormones get back to normal, and you start to feel like your normal self in a very, very gradual way as the hormones dissipate slowly. And not to mention, I was breastfeeding. Turns out breastfeeding prolongs those hormones because your normal state doesn't have prolactin going on. Your normal state doesn't have all of these other hormones going on to make you be able to produce breast milk. So I didn't know that. I thought, I just didn't know a lot of things postpartum. And there was, even though I knew a lot about breastfeeding, because I've taken courses, like actual college courses, but I didn't know a lot of things that come with breastfeeding. And I feel kind of lied to, honestly, just because I felt like I was so prepared, but I was not. That was just part of my woes of postpartum and motherhood. But on top of it, postpartum is hard in itself, but I had a lot of funerals around me of people that are close to me. Before my baby turned even 1 year old, there was a lot of funerals, a lot of grief, lot of debts, unfortunately. During this time, I'm like, amazed at the wonders of life and birth. There were deaths, people dying around me, and getting terminally ill as well around me. And it's been very, very incredibly difficult dealing with that kind of grief, because these were people who were very, very close to me, very, very dear to me. And it was, some of them were very sudden and very young. So very, very unexpected. And one of the deaths occurred when I was just still in the newborn phase. And I'm still pumped up on hormones. I'm, going through those sleepless nights, and I mean, still going through the sleepless nights, but because I'm currently weaning, so again, hormones are whack. If you guys heard of weaning blues, that's the thing, apparently, where your hormones are shifting very rapidly, again, because you are no longer trying to lactate as much. So weaning blues and anxieties is like a real thing. And it's kind of like when you're like those hormone, like the baby blues during postpartum, it's kind of feeling that, except you're weaning now. So right now, that's what we're going through. Sleepless nights, because we're cutting out those night feedings. During newborn phase, we had a death, and it was incredibly, incredibly difficult to go through grieving while having a newborn around. And it's just really hard to even think about making like happy content, filming happy things, filming really calming, cozy, relaxing things when you just had grief, as well as grief that didn't completely get processed, because as a new mother, as a new mom, I just don't have the space for myself. Because it's true, like, it's one of those things where you're lonely, but you're never alone, and you're always needed. And I never got to fully process that grief in the first place. So I pushed it off, knowing that it's going to, I'll process it later once my kid is more independent, is in their toddler phase, could work things out independently. That's kind of like how I dealt with it. But still, it's so difficult. Not to mention that the kind of help that I thought I was going to have from the people around me just didn't occur, because so many grief and deaths around me happened to close people. So that was also unexpected, knowing that I was going through basically like one of those loneliest feeling of grief as well as motherhood, and not having the help that I thought I was going to get, that I thought that was going to exist. And that was, so ultimately it was one of those things where I needed to take further break. I thought I was going to come back to making videos pretty soon after the baby was born, but unexpected events kept pushing it back. And around the time my baby was a little bit older, I thought I was going to be able to make more videos. I thought I had 포장ed the emotions and griefs pretty well enough at that point to make videos again, which is why I was editing some of these vlogs and videos that were from when I was still pregnant, that just didn't get processed. And another thing happened. More and more things just kept happening. People started getting terminally ill, and we're going through that grieving process. And another family member got terminally ill and passed away very, very shortly afterwards. Very, very shortly afterwards, due to cancer. Also, my husband and I, we moved out of town. We're not close to family, like we could still visit them, but because of all of this happening, we just kept having to drive and visit over our family. So it kind of felt like I was constantly living out of a suitcase with a baby. Just going back and forth, like 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here. On average, it was like basically 2 weeks there, 2 weeks here. And it was incredibly difficult. Just not feeling like I was ever at home, not ever feeling like I was ever settled, not ever feeling like I had a routine going on, because once the routine was set up, then boom, we gotta change it all up again and pack everything up and go to our place, go to our parents' place, or whatever, and then like try setting things up all over again. Luckily for my baby, she had that one consistency that her parents were always there. But yeah, in terms of environment, it would just kept changing, and I was craving consistency, right? As someone who just had a baby, who's going through so many changes at once, I wanted more consistency, but that was just not happening. That was just not being granted to me. And yeah, so a lot went on, and yeah, more people passed away, and that was very also kind of sudden, but we did see it happen for about a week or so. That's a lot more grief to process again. Pojang did very well. Just wrapped it up with a nice little bow on it, and probably going to process it later. But that's where things are. And yeah, just things kept crumbling left and right in the most extreme way. And it's been kind of feeling like go, 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 go. Like, what's going to happen next? What's the next final destination event that's going to happen? That's kind of how it's been. And I feel like maybe it's settling down a little bit, and definitely my hormones have calmed down a bit more, except for the weaning blues. Obviously, the weaning blues are happening right now, so yeah, but we're pretty close. We're pretty close to the end of it, and once that's dealt with, then I should be more settled. But yeah, I felt like I needed to get this off my chest, because it just felt so wrong, so weird to film, like, or to even like think of these shots and moments where it's like supposed to be beautiful, supposed to be romantic, and like, supposed to be happy, and it's like things that I wanted to usually make. It felt wrong. It just felt wrong. It felt like I shouldn't be making these kind of content after everything that has happened, after knowing that there is death in this world, right? Knowing that at any moment, any like people could just drop dead, knowing that sudden deaths could happen, that nothing is guaranteed. It just felt really wrong. So I just want to move on, because I do want to create videos. I do want to make videos as I used to. Not necessarily the same way, but just creatively use it as my outlet as I used to, because it is a part of me that I feel like I haven't gotten in touch with during the time I was pregnant and I was going through postpartum period, and it's something I want to reconnect with, but I'm having a very, very hard time with it. So yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest. And there's going to be a shift in content too. Like, I'm not the same person as I was before I was pregnant. I'm not the same person. I am not the same lady, not the same girly, not the same woman. So there is going to be a shift in content. There is going to be a shift in tone. I am kind of going through this journey right now of refinding myself, coming back to finding myself. Basically, when I get my pink back, I am on my journey to finding my pink back. That's where I am at. And reclaiming my identity, basically, other than just mom to my daughter, which, I love, but I also want to have a space for myself and not completely lose myself, which kind of happened just because of what everything happened, with the lack of support, with basically, so many grief and death happening, that I just threw myself into just caring for my child, and that was it. That's all I did. Didn't even care for my own body and self too, which is probably gonna hunt back to me like somewhere down the line. But yeah, so that's where things are, and I'm gonna have to experiment a little bit with this channel, with the videos that I make, just because life is not the same. Time is so slim and precious, and just kind of slips away very, very easily. So I'm trying to be present with my daughter, trying to be present for a lot of things, but at the same time I want to creatively make videos for myself, for my mental health, for finding my pink, or getting my pink back. I also want to find my way back to my hobbies, like knitting, crafting, crocheting, fiber art, spinning, all of that stuff. Like, I want to come back to it. I have been able to in forms that and in ways that I can, but I want to dive back into it. And I've seen some of these like knitters who are moms, and I'm just like, how do you do it? How do you have the time? How are you doing it? But then again, my life has been crazy, so I can't, it's not an apple to apple comparison. I can't do that. I also want to decorate this house fully, and it's just taking forever because, again, I've been living 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, kind of a vibe. So decorating this place is coming along very, very, very slowly. So hopefully, if things settle down, that I could decorate this place, and some like house videos will be coming out here, decorating videos will come out here. I'm also still trying to figure out how to dress myself, because I gained so much weight during postpartum. Actually, during pregnancy, I gained the recommended amount of weight of like somewhere between 25 to 30 pounds or something like that. So the heaviest point I was ever in, which was when I was in high school, I became that weight again during postpartum because of breastfeeding. I just needed to eat so much to produce the amount of milk I needed to produce. So it's a genetic thing apparently. My mom, on the other hand, was the opposite. She bounced back to her former self immediately, and that was not the case for me. So my mom was utterly confused what's happening to me, but that's what it was. And as I am weaning now, the weight is shedding off, so my body is still changing. I still don't know what to wear. I did keep my clothes around, but I still don't know how to dress myself for this body. I don't know what my body is going to be like, just because it's ever changing. It's been ever changing since I was pregnant. And I need to go out more often, dress the way I want to dress, like dress nicely, not just comfortably because it's good enough and it's just gonna get me through the day. Like, that's just surviving. I want to dress again for myself as part of self-care. And talking about that, I also do want to take care of more of myself. So I didn't understand mommy glow ups, but now I do. I do want to, take care of myself in ways that I haven't done before. I want to go get my dental checkup. I want to go get my eye checkup and get my glasses done. I need to get my contacts done. I need to get a lot of stuff done, okay, like for my health. I need to do all of that and like getting some facial and skincare treatments, because I've neglected my skin so badly during my pregnancy, during postpartum. I just neglected almost every part of myself so badly that now I'm like, I want to take care of myself in ways that I never have. I haven't cut my hair because I just don't have the time to. And I haven't been able to be separated from my daughter long enough to like have a full haircut. So yeah, like once we're weaned and we're good, or like once we figure out a time scheduling, like I want to get my hair done professionally. I usually cut my own hair. That's what I've been doing for the longest time since I didn't want to go to a salon. I want to go get it done professionally. I want to get a lot of things done, you know, professionally, taking care of me, even though the scheduling of all of this will be a nightmare, dealing with a very, 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 very high Velcro child, Velcro clingy child. But ultimately, those are the kind of journeys I want to take when it comes to taking care of myself. In terms of grief, I did see a video from Maisie Lay, and she said that healing is never over and you'll never be fully healed. It's something I'm coming to terms with, and it's something I'm okay with. And it's also comforting to know that that's something you will never heal from. That's something you will never be fully healed from. It's a kind of a comforting idea to know that. And it just makes sense because they were such significant people in my life. I don't know, it was just like a nice word of wisdom from someone else who's going through grief. And I think in part of the reason why you'll never be fully healed is because you'll always remember them. You'll always remember them and how much you love them, which is why you'll always have a little piece of grief that they're no longer here with you. So it's kind of comforting to kind of hear that word of wisdom from someone else who's also going through grief. And yeah, it's something I'm coming to terms with, and as well as be comforted by. I know on face value it seems like that kind of sucks, but you know, if you think about it, it is comforting. So the moral of the story is that nothing in life is guaranteed except for death and taxes. So cherish the people you love and tell them that you love them, and give them a really big hug when you see them. And there's no good time to have a baby. There just isn't. I was very, very, very lucky that I had a very, very positive home birth. I still hold on to those memories. I was so lucky to have that, because all the events afterwards were completely out of my hands, and I had no idea these curveballs were going to be thrown at me. But I'm so glad that at least I had that positive, beautiful moment that I could hold on to, and not have like a traumatic birth hang over me while I'm going through all of these other tragedies, you know, falling and having my life crumble. So I'm very, very thankful for that. So take nothing for granted, because you don't know. You just don't know. I'm gonna have to wrap this video up because I have my baby who's calling for me. I'm gonna have to go. So hopefully next time I'll see you guys in a more scheduled manner, and we'll get back into the kick of things, and hopefully I'll be out of this rut, this creative block, by getting this off my chest. All right, see you guys soon. Bye.